There was a time not too long ago, probably maybe a decade ago, where I really wanted to get into apologetics. I studied the various types of apologetics. I really wanted to go out there and talk to people. And I remember an incident I had with a close friend, a friend who I don't know. Unfortunately, I've lost track of him. At the time, he was homosexual and an atheist, and I had a captive audience and a long night to discuss things with him, and I thought that I'd made extremely powerful arguments, but both my amateur nature as well as trying to maybe be smarter rather than just being filled with the Holy Spirit. Long story short is at least at the time it didn't make an impact. I did not get him to see the light. I did not get him to understand. I've regretted that. I mean, it's stuck with me ever since. And now I've told that story before to a person, not on the show, but I've told other people, and they're like, you don't know how God works, obviously, and you don't know if maybe you planted a seed that somebody else watered later. And I actually should probably, now that I mention it, I should take a note and give my friend John a call, see how he's doing, because he is a friend. We didn't have a falling out or anything. We just sort of lost touch. He was on the left, I'm on the right. Things happen, right? But so call John. Call John. Got it. So bottom line is that I thought, you know what? I guess my place really isn't necessarily in apologetics. I just need to live the gospel, talk about it, talk about the Bible, encourage people, and leave the debating, the arguing, the revealing truths. Leave that to smarter and more inspired people than me. But every now and then I do see, not from me, but I do see some success stories. We do hear about them. And it's pretty rare. Unfortunately, we hear a lot in the opposite directions. We hear supposedly devout Christians that are taken away, pulled into the secular world, pulled into the evil world, taken away from their understanding, their appreciation of Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior. So that's why when this story came across my desk this morning from the Gateway Pundit, it is actually from the Western Journal, who they republish. The Gateway Pundit republishes a lot of their stuff. Jonathan Jones wrote an article titled "Outspoken Atheist Goes Viral After Publicly Coming to a Realization About God." And this is normally the case. This is very similar to a lot of situations where somebody basically they can see that God has to exist. And that's just the first step. Obviously, explaining to them and getting them to read their Bible and to understand the true nature of creation and the true nature, most importantly, of salvation. You know, there's a lot of people out there who believe in the existence of a creator, but who are not devoted to Jesus Christ. And there is a humongous difference there. So, so, according to the article, once outspoken atheist who previously argued against the existence of God did an about face on social media on Monday and explained she is trying to further her relationship with him. It's a good start for a person who was vocally opposed to hearing the message of salvation. However, writer Freely Ashley is her name, of the outlet The Publica, acknowledged on the social media platform X that she had encountered a situation that had changed her mind and her heart. She did not explain if she had been connected with the teachings of Christ, but Ashley said she had come to the conclusion that the existence of God was, quote unquote, obvious. And it is. I mean, you know, if you're out there, if you're listening to my show and you don't believe in God, then maybe you're sitting there, oh, of course it's not obvious. But I don't know about all, but at least for many of us, it is obvious. I mean, if you take away just the religiosity of it all, and you look at the facts, you look at the science, even it all points to no chance. You and you could not be sitting here listening to me based upon the Big Bang and the theory of evolution. That same zone doesn't exist. There is no possible way that we could be here right now if we were not created. Now, again, that is just the first step. We have to get in the gospel. We have to get into the entirety of the Bible in order to start to take that next step. And that next step is, in my humble opinion, it is a lifelong step. It's not something where it's like, okay, step one, believe that you were created. Step two, become a Christian. And then step three, go live your life. No, it's like step one, understand and appreciate the reality that we must be created beyond a shadow of a doubt. As this Freely Ashley says, it became obvious to her. Right? That's step one. Step two, explore, learn, read, pray. That's it. That's the next step and the final step. Now you might say that in that final step we are told to spread the gospel. We are told to discuss it, to make believers of the nations. And I'm always hesitant when I say make believers, because I don't I don't believe that we ever make anybody, that they are believers, not through our words or actions. We can do what we're supposed to do. We can play our part, but that part still falls into God's plan, and God's plan is what ultimately makes them believe. But that's a discussion for another day. Again, I feel oftentimes that I'm just unqualified. I'm not shy. I'm very open about my faith. I am unabashed about it. But with that said, I also don't want to stumble on my words, because that's the biggest problem for many of us, is that we just get stuck in our own words. We don't just let the Bible do its thing. We don't just if anything, I would say that the best thing we could ever do is to just get people to read it. If we can just get that step out of the way, if we can get them down that path, that little just shove, then in many cases that is our role. That is our place in the plan for that particular individual. So she was replying to it. I'm going to go to the tweet itself. Let me see if that works. I've got to take it off there because oh no, I don't. I guess I can put it on. Yeah, there we go. So, gentlemen, I don't know who this is. Winston Smith said, the existence of God is the most obvious truth in the universe. Literally, reality itself requires God to exist. We can't even discuss the existence of God without presupposing his existence. So, the positive claim that God doesn't exist, which is the claim atheism makes, is self-refuting. So, there has to be a reason to deny such an obvious truth. This isn't about belief. Everyone believes God exists. Some people just don't believe what he has to say. Faith has nothing to do with God's existence. When someone has faith in God, it means they believe his promises. It doesn't mean that they have faith he exists. Very good point. God himself is the one who said that people who deny him do it because they love their sin. To claim the statement isn't true is simply claiming God is lying. And then this Freely Ashley person, it's back in November of 2023, she's quoting him, the existence of God is the most obvious truth in the universe. And her reply is, it's not obvious to me, friend. Well, let's go. That was, again, November. So let's look what she's saying now. She's quoting, the existence of God is the most obvious truth in the universe. It's not so obvious to me. But then she quoted herself that again later, but this is last week. She has highlights, deep breath. It became obvious to me. And then just a picture of herself. And that's it. And then she explains in the comments how she started wearing the cross about a month ago, about how this is a reminder that she always has an audience. And that might be, it's funny because I don't have to remind myself, I know it inherently, but I often remember when I'm doing things that even if I think I'm alone, I'm not. You're never alone. God sees all. And so keep that in mind, that you always have an audience, even when you think you don't. And are your actions while you're alone, do they match what the Bible would expect from you, even if other people were watching? Are you doing it for their sake or for his sake? Or for your sake? These are all great questions. So, but kudos to Freely Ashley. I pray, Lord, please do what you need to do with her. She seems to be ready to take that next step, that lifelong step. And if anybody, by the way, people, you can always reach out to me. Okay, I've already declared up front, I'm not very good at this stuff, but I'm also open. I'm not shy about it. I'm open to conversation. If you ever want to reach out to me, talk about anything, whether it's faith, culture, religion, my favorite type of spaghetti sauce, which is actually, that's been on my mind a lot lately because I've been on the ketogenic diet, which means that I can't have spaghetti. So it always creeps into my head. But for whatever reason, even in the middle of a show, But if you ever want to reach out to me, go to jdrucker.com/talk, jdrucker.com/talk. That goes directly to me. It's not filtered. So you fill out that form. I'm not collecting email addresses. I mean, it looks like I am, but I'm not. I don't do anything with them. It's just literally that's an easy way to make sure actual humans are reaching out to me. Otherwise, you get the idea. So jdrucker.com/talk, and let's open up a conversation.